Welcome to the Real CP Show. I'm your host, CP. And today's topic called Stacy Abrams, Black Men's Agenda, Voting, Giggle. Again, today's topic is Stacy Abrams, Black Men's Agenda, Voting, Giggle. I want to make this particular quick quick show enough because I was looking at something the other day in relating to policy, a supposedly policy that is supposed to be about Black men's agenda, uh, relating to Stacey Abrams. But again, a major problem is the policy that's supposed to talk about Black men's, American Black men's agenda is nowhere to be found. So a black men's agenda policy that's supposed to be done by Stacey Abrams, but at the same time, in the black men's agenda policy points, it has nothing to do with American black men. Oh, supremacists is so brilliant because they know how to utilize numbers of black political figures that they've been using for many generations. But before I get into that, for people who have watched the show Star Trek Deep Space Nine, I've watched that probably easily a couple of times. And there's some people who don't, watch those Star Trek series, and that's okay. And there's some people who watch them, rigorously, right? I make that point about Star Trek Deep Space Nine because on that series, for the people who don't know, when it showed a strong black male and was responsible and that upbringing for his youth black son or American black son. And it was a very successful series from my personal opinion, showing the strong black maleness as that parent to his son. Because uh, his his name was see the Commander Cisco, which is over this space station in the plot. And his son was Jake Cisco. Uh, his mom, unfortunately, had got into a very serious scenario in which she lost her life, and so that was heartbreaking, obviously, to Captain Cisco, Commander Cisco, right, to lose his significant other in a very fiery uh, fatality, and of course, very heartbreaking for uh, his mother, as far as Jake Cisco. And so throughout the series, you can see the constructive, positive progression of strong black maleness being shown to his black male son. Mm. Oh man, that was the series for that. What does that have to do with what we're talking about? In various parts of today's society, just even more as generations before, it's even worse now. That's a no-no to show strong American black maleness of showing that they are the ones that are responsible when they have a child or children. Because this system, they don't want to show that. They want to show things like this. They want to show some buffoonery type of American black male face, right? Non-thinking, can't complete a sentence or two, just jolly all the time. While black pain is going all around, this is what they like to portray. This is what they like to portray because the system of supremacy, the most awesome mental manipulation force that has ever existed, they do this because they know they have quite a number of millions of American black men and women right where they need them to be. And that is not paying attention to the horizon of more black pain. And this is why I stand by what I say on this. Unfortunately, the American black culture only has half a generation to one generation left before the overall complete devastation of the American black culture. Because unfortunately, there's too many internal problems and there's too many other sections of other cultures and backgrounds and term lifestyle categories that use American blacks for their own agendas. Too many other people from certain various other cultures and backgrounds, etc., hide behind people of color and minority. And you know what they do as well? Because they know it's funny. Because you got people who know they are that rob within the country every day, have no clue about real American black history, have no clue. And so when various personnel within predominant culture, and especially supremacist version, they love showing again this picture overall of American black male or the way they act is buffoonery, out of touch, irresponsible, criminality, jolly, right? Having kids all over the place, right? Not working, no businesses, not really being educated. This is what they want to contribute. This is what they want to make sure to contribute to showing those negative things, right? This is what they want to do. And for me, when I hear such nonsensical rhetoric of such satanic infantile responses, because they try to the people who know they are, be it whatever other culture within a certain section of other cultures, and especially within certain parts of predominant culture, when they try to sit there and put the American black, especially American black man, some kind of scapegoating mode, right? Even though the American black culture, the American black man and black woman, the American black culture, especially American black men, have been the most hated, the most despised, the most racially discriminated, the most racially oppressed, right? The most racially enhanced hate laws put upon a people ever in this country for generations. And still, from those effects of those heinous laws and policies and procedures and etc., those still effects go upon today for more black pain. And they know that millions of American blacks still won't ever understand. So for me, as I get older, I just cannot get into arguments. Now there are some people that like to argue, and that's good if they like to argue and they enjoy it. It's a thrilling thing. That's fine. But quite a number of people do not like arguing, but they still get into arguments of nonsensical habit. For me, I refuse to do that. So when somebody tries to get into the argument with me about some nonsensical part, well, the American blacks, well, they need to start putting their hands out and stop begging and work hard and you know, uh, just stop begging. And I'm like this. When I hear such a nonsensical part, I'm like this. Oh, is that right? Oh, is that right? Wait a minute now. What you say? What? What do you do when you hear people from no Pacific cultures, backgrounds, parts of a term lifestyle category, etc. Even numbers of personnel within the American Black culture, ones that's very gullible when they try to sit there and be like, "Well, the American Black man, well, he surely needs to be sitting there, stop begging and you know, stop having his hands out. He needs to work harder. He needs to be more positive. Get over the past." I'm like this because I refuse with extreme maximum to sit there and get mesmerized. I refuse to get caught up in being mesmerized with nonsensical infantile rhetoric. When the number one personnel who commits the most crimes is not the American Black man, it's personnel within the Padam-based culture. The number one personnel who gets uh, more welfare is personnel within the Padam-based culture. So you think I can get into an argument with that? And I'm still on the same topic of Stacey Abrams about the black man's agenda, but I just want to talk about some other things, and you'll see what I'm coming from in this just a second here. And so the thing about it, even when you have border breaking illegal immigration personnel, sit back laughing. Because again, for without the American black man and none of the American black women, but this is about black men, American black men on this show today. Before without the American black men going through black pain, not talking about the sellouts and the super Uncle Ruckuses and the Aunt Ruckuses. For without the American black man going through you know what for generations, head being busted, brutality, racial racism, heinous laws and policies, continuously, educational disenfranchisement of American blacks, black criminality, showcase on how many during times consistently acting like a black man is the most criminality-based person, even though by stats, it's not the American black man who is the most criminal ridden, it's personnel within the predominant culture. But for some silly, odd, infantile reasons, you got still got millions of American blacks still allowing people to keep trying to put them in this criminality category. And it's extreme hatred, criminality categories, should I say. And it's ridiculous. Let me sit there and show you something. This right here was not long ago when it's showing border breaking illegal immigration personnel, not across the border, but inside the country of America. And most of these are going to be males with some females in there, but overall, in this situation, males. And you'll have more personnel that feel sympathy for these border breaking illegal immigration males than American black men. And just like right now, you got people both sides, political side, from Republican side to Democratic side. Oh, that governor of this state sending these migrant people over here to this state and that state. Oh my goodness. And still the whole darn rhetoric is infantile. Because do you think an American black man Do you think American black men can just go break border immigration laws south of that border or cross the Atlantic or cross the Pacific? I'm just giving an example and think the personnel in those other countries are going to sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, that's fine. Just send those American black men who's breaking border immigration laws. Just send them all over different countries. Taxpayer funded or airplane rides, bus tickets by taxpayers' money. Oh, that's okay. Of course, they'd be like, man, I don't think so. They'd be like, cut that crap out. Get a fix on that. Secure that border. But again, the supremacists are so brilliant because they are the masters of manipulation, right? Because they want people to focus on this American black man looking buffoonery, criminality, jolly, right? Not constructive. But even though the majority of men out there, black men, are responsible when they have a kid or kids, they're responsible, right? The majority of black males out there are hardworking. The majority of black males out there do not cheat. The majority of black males do not get welfare. The majority of black males don't have a handout. But see, the problem is again, the system is so brilliant, right? And they know multi-millions of American blacks are becoming weaker by the day, right? In society for allowing people to keep playing disgusting scapegoating games upon the American blacks overall. Because of the type of strong American black men of the 60s and parts of the 70s is extremely different now. The American black males are becoming weaker and more feminized, right? And less masculinity is going around, and it's on purpose, right? It's like when I hear this thing about, um, we gotta do more for this border breaking illegal immigration personnel. Yes, I keep harping on that. It's not even harping on that. It's called logical analysis because supremacists want to utilize border breaking illegal immigration personnel as a futuristic voting bloc to get them in the system, right? To do the all of a sudden, get them legalized and then be able to vote formally, right? And that basically wipes out the American blacks overall, any kind of continuous, possibly uh, last remaining pseudo power that the American black man and black woman has is that vote. Because not one American black man, black woman will be illegal in this country. Now you can't say that about numbers of Asian personnel because there are going to be some people from Asian various countries that's going to be illegal in this country. There's going to be some personnel definitely from some various parts of Hispanic culture that's going to be over illegal. There's going to be some immigrant personnel that's going to be in this country illegal as well. Supremacists knows this, but again, the black man is again shown to be jolly, negrofied, criminal-fied, lazy, lack of education, and it is pathetic. This game continues to keep working over and over again upon millions of American blacks' mindset. It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. Think about this right here for a second. It says warning, mauling, drain, trucking, and delivery wagons not allowed in this part and are prohibited by city's ordinance. Ben Campbell Mayor. Negroes keep out. Says Negroes keep out, not Asians keep out, or not an Asian male keep out, not an Hispanic male keep out, right? Or not Asian personnel keep out, not Hispanic people keep out, not what we call Native Americans keep out, not immigrants keep out, not a term lifestyle categories keep out. Says Negroes keep out. And so, in getting to the Stacy Abrams policy with Black Men's Agenda, it's almost like an insult. because for the personnel who have not saw this, I'm just going to read a few things about this. Stacy Abrams, governor, or should I say governor candidate for the midterm election coming up in a couple of months for the state of Georgia, says policy black men's or American black men's agenda. Black men deserve leadership that sees them, serves them, and believes in them. She says, to my her, that she is committed to investing in black men. Listen to that word. She's invested to, well, she said she is committed to investing in black men, their families, and their businesses by providing opportunities for small businesses and apprenticeships, expanding access to safe and affordable education, and focusing resources on violent crime prevention and law enforcement accountability. Now, again, I'm not going to go into a lot of this, but let me just read you some of this. Under the category of economic security, says provide capital and contract opportunities for Black small businesses. Establish a 10 million small business investment fund. That doesn't say anything about specifically for Black men. Eliminate fees and red tape to start your own business. That doesn't say anything specifically for Black men. That can be for all kind of people. That has nothing to do with Black men. Increasing purchasing, increase purchasing from Black-owned businesses by state entities. That says nothing specifically about Black men. Allow multiple small companies to jointly bid on state contracts as prime contractor. That can be all types of people. That has nothing specifically to do with Black men. Close the gap between minority, that word, and non-minority business revenues in 6 to 8 years. At current pace, it will take 100 years. Let me read this again. Close the gap between minority and non-minority business revenues in 6 to 8 years. At current pace, will take 100 years. What type of flamingo poop stuff is this? What does a minority look like? An Asian man, Asian woman is considered a minority, whatever that's supposed to mean, because Asian is very broad. An Hispanic man, Hispanic woman would be considered minority. What does that mean? An immigrant can be considered a minority. A woman from a predominant culture are now considered minorities. You see this disgusting tactic that people keep playing, and they'll utilize people that have Black faces in the Black community to sit there and come across this nonsensical responses on this, right? This shows nothing specifically about Black men. Create a 5 million family farms initiative to aid small and micro farms with financing. That says nothing about Black men. That's for all kind of people. Another category says put money back in your pocket. Tax rebates for everyone making less than $250,000. You see this nonsensical rhetoric. What is the average income for Blacks, for American Black men? Because the higher wage earning relating to median income, who makes the highest? Asian man, right? Asian man makes more money than Black males. And then white males make more money than Black males. So what are they talking about? God, me, boy. Mm, mm, mm. But the point is, it says tax rebates for everyone making less than 250,000. Everyone. Now, this is supposed to be again, right? This is supposed to be from Stacy Abrams, a policy relating to Black men's agenda. So how can tax rebates for everyone making less than $250,000 do anything with specific about Black men when it says nothing about Black men in there? Under healthcare and housing, it says expand Medicaid. Adults making $9 an hour or less would be eligible for health insurance, including non-crisis mental health and substance abuse treatment. Where did you hear me say anything about specifically about Black men adults or American Black men adults? It said adults. So that could be an Asian man, Asian woman, Hispanic man, Hispanic woman, immigrant man, immigrant woman, what we call Native American man, Native American woman. Do you see this nonsense? What's supposed to be talking about Black men specifically does not talk about Black men in this. Another point within healthcare and housing, make housing more affordable for Blacks. Right, didn't say that. Oh, man, this shows and talks about make housing more affordable for Black males. Let's see. Support first-time homeowners. Oh, excuse me. I said healthcare and housing. Not, excuse me. I went somewhere else different. Let me go back here. I talk about healthcare and housing, and under that category, say expand Medicaid, right? About adults making $9 an hour or less would be eligible for health insurance, including non-crisis mental health and substance abuse treatment, which has nothing to do with American Black men. Doesn't say anything about that. It also says under that category, will create 64,000 good paying jobs across the state. Where did that say anything about will create 64,000 good paying jobs across the state for specifically American Black men? It does not. This other category, make housing more affordable for everyone. It talks about support first time homeowners and provide financial education. Support first time homeowners and provide financial education. That has nothing to do specifically for American Black men. Let me read you another category under make housing more affordable for everyone. It talks about how create a permanent fund to finance property tax deferments for working class households facing rapidly rising property taxes caused by out of state buyers or gentrification. Where does it say anything about Blacks? It does not. Under education, under education and job training, it talks about increased funding to public schools and decrease over disciplining of Black children. But it says nothing specifically about Black men. This is under educational job training. So again, I'll repeat that because it's very important. It said increased funding to public schools and decrease over disciplining of Black children. When the number one child that is disciplined, right? Not because they're just criminal youth. That's because, again, Black males have a distinct way of learning. And again, when you got in the educational system, there are good teachers, but predominant teachers are whom? Women from within the predominant culture. So you put in however numbers of women within the predominant culture overall who do not understand true American Black culture. So they see this youth child acting a certain way and they take that as, oh, they're threatening. Oh, they don't listen. Where no, it's on you that this particular teacher, not talking about numbers of good ones, I'm talking about the ones that have no clue of how to teach distinctness of an American black male, a black youth male, right? Who has a different experience than obviously youth males within the predominant culture, has a very different cultural generation, a generation upbringing through generations more than an Hispanic youth that even exists overall when American black male uh, became their own American black culture. The Asian youth is of no comparison in a school when they would come from a different maintainer of their cultural nuances in comparison to the American black youth, right? Who over this generations of had to sit there and develop their own even more uniqueness because of the black pain for generations, even when some of the black male youth probably don't understand why they feel a certain way, why they act a certain way, because it's ingrained within American black males, right? That this struggle that to have to prove themselves consistently, have to explain themselves consistently, while other cultures of males don't have to do that. Let's keep going. On education and job training, restore free technical college. You're like, where did that come from? Where do you how many American black folks have even heard that something about free technical college, just say in Georgia, specifically for American black males? Because they basically there's no such thing, basically, right? So in this is a farce because it's still not talking about specifically for an American black male. This could be restore free technical college can be for whom? uh, a male from within a predominant culture. It can be from a woman from within a woman from within the predominant culture. It could be from an Hispanic male, a Hispanic one from Hispanic culture. It could be from Asian man, Asian woman. It could be from what we call Native American man, Native American woman. Come on, you see this nonsense crowd. But again, this is supposed to be under Stacey Abrams. It's supposed to be about black men's agenda, right? And it says nothing about black men. Expand access to hope, whatever that program is, and fund and they fund FUND need-based aid for higher education, particular HBCUs. But it says nothing about specifically black men. And I'm gonna go lastly in these last couple of ones under criminal justice and public safety. It says focus law enforcement resources on serious violent crime. Under that says support legislation to decriminalize marijuana, put like that, marijuana, and end poverty-based criminal penalties. And it still says nothing about black males. This is for all kind of people. So support legislation to decriminalize marijuana and end poverty-based criminal penalties. That could be for all kinds of different people, right? It could be for some personnel within Hispanic culture that's really not doing good, and some might be in poverty. Well, Asians really not going to be really too much poverty, but the ones who are, this can that not apply to them? It can apply for some immigrant personnel, right? Come on now. But it says nothing about Pacific about black males, right? See, this is a nonsensical game that's disgusting that these things need to be talked about on that, right? Because again, this is what supremacists doing. When they read stuff like this, or read Stacey Abrams, Black Man's Agenda, and for what I'm reading, they say, oh, let me show it better. Let me say it a better way. Listen, they're laughing because they know this is a farce. They know this is a farce, right? Because they also understand this. They understand. Just like I say, and I stand by this. The American black culture only has half a generation to one generation left before the overall complete devastation of the American black culture. Unfortunately, multi-millions of American blacks have gotten so much of a soft heart that they can't even understand when they're being used by personnel from many other different cultures. People that just arrived here 2 days ago, right? And again, whenever somebody listens to the show, it could be 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. But still don't matter. It's still the concept. 2 days from listening to this show, a week from listening to this show, a year. I'm just saying, if it's a couple years down the road, somebody listens to this show on that. A few days before that, someone came over here, had no clue about American Black Pain, but still get the benefit off a slide under the, say, people of color banner, a minority banner. Do you see the crazy, some border breaking illegal immigrant personnel sitting there laughing that you got more personnel feel sympathy for their males than American Black men? Do you see this disgusting situation? It's like the thing when people you talking about there's 11 million uh, undocumented personnel. What do you mean undocumented? You mean illegal border breaking, illegal immigration personnel? And there's no such thing as 11 million. The same they've been saying 11 million for the last many years. It's not 11 million, or sometimes they may say 10.5, or they may say 11.5. That's the same nonsensical bull banana game they've been talking about for many years. And that's why, again, I also wanted to put this in this put this in this podcast when they talk about 11 million. So again, as a timepiece purpose. So down the road, when somebody pulls out that nonsense talking about 11 million, again, it's like, oh man, it's like right here it says counting 11 million undocumented immigrants is easier than Trump thinks. Repeat that again. It says counting 11 million undocumented immigrants is easier than Trump thinks. I want to make sure I put this in here right because again, be it 5 years from now, 10 years from now, somebody comes across this and somebody down the road be talking about, oh, it's 11 million or say 11.5 million or 10.5 million, right? Years later down the road. And it's like, I'm sure I want to make sure I put this in the show to say that's dodo egg nonsense, right? 11 million, you're talking about maybe you're talking maybe generations. Well, I'm going on that. You're talking maybe a generation ago, maybe a couple of generations ago, maybe. I'm just giving an example. But I'm saying there's no such thing as 11 million border breaking illegal immigration personnel out there. That's nonsense. And they continue to keep coming across that border like chickens. And it ain't just for one culture, by the way. That's the other nonsensical part. This is not the show, and I'm not going to go on all that because it's disgusting how you have border breaking illegal immigration personnel that's sitting there breaking border immigration laws, laughing. It's almost like it's levitating upon the ancestry of American black men and American black women that have lost their lives to try to be treated as equal in this country. Again, I'm not talking about uh, uh, Uncle Ruckuses and Aunt Ruckuses and global numbers of American black males and women, because unfortunately, there's too many of them out there in the first place that don't get it. Because you got a good job, so what? Because you got some business, so what? Collectively, still at the bottom. So what? You drive a nice little car, so what? Who made it? Did a black man, a black woman, did a collective of black men make that car? Of course not. So that ain't impressive. You went to some kind of Ivy League college, so what? You want a cookie for that? You went to a very nice college, so what? Especially if you went to those kind of colleges and you did it because you were able to and you appreciate it and you're grateful and you got the tool of education and you have not forgotten that the American black man, black woman have not forgotten who they are inside, which is the person that comes from the greatness of an historical power. And that doesn't make a difference. Say if that man is an American black man and they have a child or children and it's from another culture, it doesn't make no difference as long as they who love who they love. I don't get to all that. The point is still, whichever parent says American black parent, as long as they teaching, if they understand, if they don't, go find some other black men or black women that can teach that child or children about the historical powerhouse and history of the American black man and black woman who cannot be compared to nobody else in this country because nobody else had to go through the same horrified, continuously demonic satanic hatred as nobody no one compares to that as American black man, black woman. And still to sit there and have the most braveryness for the American black man of no comparison and being in basically every single wars and conflicts more than any other culture of males beside the male from within predominant culture, right? But again, I don't go, I'm going somewhere totally different with that. But in finishing up under criminal justice and public safety, it talks about how restore diversion programs and reentry programs to support housing, healthcare, and employment. Repeat that, to restore diversion programs and reentry programs to support housing, healthcare, and employment. That says nothing about black men. That could be for everybody. This is insulting. And I want to put this specifically, it's agenda, it's supposed to be, we're supposed to be black men. We're supposed to be dealing with black men, right? Stacy Abrams policy for black men's agenda, not Stacy Abrams policy for Asian men's agenda, not Stacy Abrams policy for Asian men's agenda, not Stacy Abrams policy for Native American agenda, not Stacy Abrams immigrant man for agenda. So why is it that still in this Stacy Abrams policy for black men's agenda, it shows it's not talking about nothing specifically about black men. Holy. That's why supremacists is brilliant. The most awesome mental manipulation force that's ever existed. Because they know they got multi-millions of American black males discombobulated in their mindsets to not think, right? To not play cultural chess. To understand when they allow people to put them in people of color and minority category, it is an insult. When again, you've got people that came over here a generation ago, 2 generations ago. Somebody say, well, wait a minute now. What about the agent? What about them? Show me where prior to the 1849, which is the California Gold Rush, when that's when you start having a little bit more of sectionality of a certain section of Asians. Prior to that, show me where there was some significant Asians, right, of various Asian sections. If you want to play games, okay, I want you to show me where there was a gigantic amount of Vietnamese, Koreans, Malaysians, Indonesians, Chinese, right? Taiwanese. Since you want to play, someone will play games and stuff like that, show me where prior to 1840, 1849, that there was some gigantic influx of just those particular type of Asians, because no such thing. Because one of the main sections of Asian personnel was the the Chinese personnel. And that was more again 1848, 1840, 1849, California Gold Rush. Prior to that, you still wouldn't have had even a piece of significance of demographics for Chinese personnel. So play the game with somebody else, right? Because again, when somebody try to play silly games with me, I'm just like this. Again, I'm just like this. I'm just not playing. I don't have the patience for nonsense stuff anymore, right? And so again, I said something about the anyway. So and also prior to prior to mid 1900s to 2000, show me where the gigantic influx of Mexicans, right, or Guatemalans, or El Salvadorians, right? Show me where. Let's say it again. Show me prior to mid 1900s to 2000. It's about 50 something years where there's some gigantic influx of Mexicans on the Hispanic category in Guatemalans and El Salvadorians, right? Because there's no such thing on that kind of massive scale. But here it is in the early 21st century. The American black culture was the second largest population demographically, behind the um, personnel from the predominant culture. And now the American black man, black woman now have fallen to the third largest population and still at the bottom of the list economically overall, still has some of the most highest divisive hatred than the culture, has some of the unfortunate most highest rates of health disparately, something like that. The most health problems in comparison to other cultures overall. The most diabetes, the most high blood pressure. You get the point, right? Black males still being put out there again as criminality person overall in this system. They want to portray them as a criminality. I call it the Willie Horton effect. If it's not that, then again they do both sides. They do Willie Horton effect, right? Criminality, black males. Or they'll show this buffoonery version of trying to say this is a black male, right? Jolly again, happy go lucky, not a care in the world, not a thinker, not educated, none of that kind of stuff. See, these people are brilliant, the supremacists, right? And they utilize meniable type of quite a number of black political personnel, right? And give them a little toast, a piece of toast in the political arena. They don't control how to make the bread. They don't control how to manufacture the bread. See, supremacists give a little piece of toast to quite a number of black political figures to sit there and use them against the American blacks themselves. That is so disgusting. And many of these black political figures don't understand that they're only useful as much as the supremacists can use them, right? But closing this part of Stacey Abrams was supposed to be about uh, black men's agenda, or black men's policy for black men's agenda. Closing this up, let's see here, a category of hold law enforcement accountable. It talks about how require accountability for law enforcement and correctional officers. That says nothing specific about black men. Even though black men next to males within predominant culture, and that really just depends on which particular criminal crime they're talking about. How many categories that black males are removed from their home? Well, I'm not talking about some extremely hardcore stuff, right? But they're still removed from the houses, from families, from the children, right? And still sentenced longer than personnel for the same similar crime as a male within the predominant culture. How's that even fair? But doesn't say anything about that in Stacey Abrams' policy for black men agenda. This says require accountability for law enforcement and correctional officers. That has nothing to do with Pacific by black males. It talks about how track officers with records of bad behavior and prevent them from getting new jobs. What are you talking about? Yeah, 50 states. And I'm going to all that. So the thing about it, on relating to Georgia, you say, wait a minute, let me understand this for a second. So, well, I don't want to go there. Just understand, just as the demographics, what used to be Chocolate City in Washington D.C. was over 50% of American blacks, and it went below 50%. ATL Atlanta is going to eventually go that direction. Just watch. They're going to go below 50%. They're going to go below 50% or 50%, right around 50%, maybe slightly a little bit more. But they're going to either go slightly close to 50% and below very, very soon. I don't sit there and see in the next few generations that Atlanta is going to be still predominantly black. I don't see that's going to happen. Are they going to also influx more Atlanta with border breaking illegal immigration personnel, or put more influx of immigrants, more influx of Hispanics, more influx of Asian personnel to dilute down numbers of American blacks? It's going to happen one way or the other. It's happening now. Lastly, talks about create state guidelines that address the use of force, de-escalation, and crisis intervention. You're talking about one of the number one personnel who's had the most exonerations overall is an American black man. Let's repeat that. One of the number one males who have had the overalls of exonerations is not a white male from predominant culture. It's not an Asian male. It's not a Native American male. It's not a Hispanic male. It is a American black male who has basically had the most exonerations. So you know something's wrong with the system. But did Stacy Abrams' program of Black Men's Agenda say specifically anything about that? Of course not. It says create guidelines that address the use of force, de escalation, and crisis intervention. That has nothing specifically about Black American men. But watch this. Now, this has nothing to do with Georgia, but this is still across the board. You see, it says stop Asian hatred. How many Black political figures voted for this? That stop that anti Asian hatred bill? How many black political personnel jumped over trees, fell off, fell into the water, swim across the darn ocean? What do you have to do? I'm just symbolically, right? Not literally, but and to make sure to get that anti-Asian bill passed. How many black political personnel are jumping on board about term lifestyle category, trying to make sure to get those additional laws and policies passed? How many black political personnel jumped on board about DACA and rewarding border breaking illegal immigration personnel for something that happened several years ago? Hmm. Not like this is generational black pain, right? People breaking border immigration laws, that's a choice. And to sit there and almost like a can't response to whatever they say to come across the border, I seek amnesty, etc. Oh yeah, okay. Once you report back to this particular time frame, okay, okay, and however gigantic amount of them never report back, and they put themselves in the communities that look like them and never worry about that again. How many do that? You will, golly. Mm, mm, mm. And they sit back laughing at American black folks in general. Do you see this nonsense? How many black political personnel are also the problem? Not the major problem, but a quite a bigger problem because they overall black political figures overall, besides the very small amount who know they are, right? The ones that are sellouts, right? That will do everything for another cultures, alternative lifestyle categories, border breaking immigration personnel, but won't do a darn thing of a pocket for specifically black men. But again, this is what they want to sit there and people want to portray black men as overall in the society. And it's disgusting. Just like this right here. You see this particular black male was doing all they can to sit there and help out. You see what it says, talks about 1.25 million immigration relief fund benefiting this district neighbors. That this black male announced this morning, this is you see the date on there or the month. They announced this morning 1.25 million immigration relief fund benefiting this district. 1.25 million. Let's put that back up again. 1.25 million immigration relief fund, helping immigrants or border breaking illegal immigration personnel mixed in with that, however it is. But they can't find no money to specifically help out American black men and black women. Holy. And then you see more of hatred by numbers of Asian males and Asian women upon black men, black women. You're going to start probably seeing even more hatred from a number of Hispanic men, Hispanic women toward American black male and black women. You're going to start seeing most likely immigrant groups, more of them that can't stand black males and black American black men and black women. You're going to have even more personnel that classify themselves as black, but they might be from the ancient continent. Not talking about the good ones, or they might be from some of the beautiful islands that most people from predominant culture not even paying attention to. But you got people who know they are. I'm not talking about the good ones. I'm not going to play that game. I'm talking about the bad ones that know who they are, that ran as fast as possible from an island, run as fast as possible from the great continent of Africa, that can't even control corruption, that can't even control other entities going inside Africa and stealing and grabbing up resources, but have the nerve to sit there and try the nerve to talk about American black men you and black women. You got the freaking nerve who know you are. You got the nerve. When your population is, I think I think I read some of whatever time. I think the in general African demographics in America is only but a few million compared to what is it, 40 to 44 American blacks? What a joke. And I don't know why American black men and black women keep getting in arguments with them. I'm not talking about the good ones. The good ones, credit to you. You know who you are. But you need to checkmate the bad numbers of African personnel who got a mouth on them, trying to have the nerve to sit there and talk down upon American black man, black woman, who without them and black pain and the great achievements of the black folks in this country, many know the African person that we even had an opportunity to come to America. That goes for numbers of island personnel too. I'm not talking about the bad. I'm not talking about the good ones. But that's a whole different problem. I'm not. This is not the show for that. But again, the Stacy Abrams program that's supposed to be talking about a policy for Black men's agenda, and for what you had heard me reading, it says nothing specifically about Black men. What a insulting joke. Because anything dealing with reparations, especially for Black folks in general, and you hear numbers of Black political person overall, they start they're like they can't understand English then. But you sit there and say something about anti-Asian, oh, we got to make sure about the Asians. Which age you talking about? Oh, we got to deal with this anti-Hispanic. Which Hispanic you talking about? We got to help out the immigrants. Which immigrants? Oh, we got to make sure we invite the what we call Native Americans to this place and that place. We got to help them out. What's Native Americans? But at the same time, you can find reparations for many of those personnel. They can find ways of getting laws passed and policies, looked at stuff like that, specifically for term lifestyle categories. But they can't sit there and seem to find reparations and specifically reparations, black reparations. They can't seem to find no money for that. They can't seem to sit there and find a way to get these laws passed specifically for American blacks. They can't sit there and seem to find something specifically to help American black men, since American black men were the first personnel that were brought over here as an enslaved personnel, not the American black woman, that evolved to the American black man and black woman, but they brought the skin of blackness coming over from Africa over here to America. Because again, I'm not going all that because the situation is you got quite a number of what we call black natives that was like, whoa, 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 we were never put in slavery. So enslavement. So I'm not gonna. This is not the show for all that. I'm just saying that the American black men who have been the most hated, the most destroyed, the most criminality, the most mentally tricked, the most used, the most abused, right, in society, really in all kind of trickeries, right, the most male that have been removed from their homes for not hardcore stuff, right, and certainly not not put upon justice, or should I say, had looked at with more criminality than by numbers of males within predominant culture who commit the most crimes? Do you see this nonsensical, disgusting behavior that's happening? So I hope this was an interesting show on that because when I read this, and again, this is for timepiece purposes, by the way. This is not something for right now. Somebody listen to it a few days from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. This is a timepiece purposes because again, even though unfortunately American black men and black women do not have but a half a generation, one generation left. Unfortunately, there's too many problems, and then supremacists and feminism, satanic feminism, unfortunately have infiltrated quite a number of American black women's mindset, right? Especially around the 1970s, right? On that situation. So that started breaking up more families and things like that. What I call bullet feminism. And unfortunately, or fortunately, there are some good American black women out there. You keep doing your thing. Unfortunately, there is not enough that is putting the numbers of American black women that are suffering from feminism controlled responses and not understand that they are being used, right, by numbers of women within the Panamas culture who hate their own males. Because certainly you're not gonna have Asian numbers of women that's gonna keep playing this feminism nonsense. You certainly not gonna have Hispanic women playing this nonsense. Scott said that you're not gonna have numbers of Asian women that's gonna play this type of feminism nonsense or satanic version of feminism nonsense. Because feminism and being feminine is two different things. Satanic feminism, they want control. Feminine means that hey, they can express being feminine. They can express themselves of being caring. They don't have to sit there and be like, hear me roar. I'm tough. I'm independent. That's nonsense. Because these are, is that right? So some of the most depressed personnel are numbers of women. Some of the highest educational debt is also held by numbers of American black women. So something is off here, right? So those American black women, I truly hope that more will start catching on and understand. Wait a minute, this feminism nonsense has nothing to do with us. Has nothing to do with us. So again, do I think that's going to happen overall? Probably not, because it's too ingrained now. It's too fixated into numbers of American black women's mindset. Besides the exceptions, on that. But it's not about the show for that. So again, I hope this show was interesting because it was such a nonsense to read Stacy Abrams. It was as much a nonsense to read Stacy Abrams was supposed to have been about black men, right? Stacey Abrams' policy of a black man's agenda, and then you read the agenda and you see nothing specific about black men. If Stacey Abrams was a Hispanic woman, do you think she's gonna have whatever her name is, her Hispanic woman's name, and she was a governor candidate, and she said policy for Asian men's agenda? Do you think she's gonna sit there and have an agenda talking about in general and not talking about Hispanic men? Do you see not you see the nonsense of that? Because supremacists is doing that. Supremacists is doing so again for me, I'm not going to even play this kind of game. I refuse to on this because think about this. If this was an Asian woman for governor candidate, do you think this Asian woman that has a policy for Asian men agenda is going to sit there and talk about for everybody, basically, not talking about Pacific Asian male? Do you think if it was a Native American male that's running for governor, some other congressional person place, and they had a policy for Native American men's agenda, that Native American woman, I'm sorry, excuse me, if this was a Native American woman governor candidate, Native American congressional candidate, and they had a policy for Native American men's agenda, that they will sit there and talk about everybody else? Do you think this is the alternative lifestyle category? Well, that's two different things. I don't want to go there, but you get the point of this. So for me, I just would not argue because again, I'm like this. Because I'm just not going to argue. I'm not going to argue. I can't. I refuse to. I refuse to on this. And the last, I wanted to show you something. It's kind of funny, but it's really not at all funny. I saw this before and it stuck to my mind because it also sums up a lot of stuff how various parts of society look upon the black men. Even though, again, the black male is not the most criminality type personnel, even though the black male has not been the primary person who's created hateful laws and policies, right? It's not the black male who sit there and use it. I won't go there. It's not the black male who's sitting there for generations, uh, have developed heinous policies of criminality to put males within the Paname's culture. Anybody else hasn't been black males doing that. You see where I'm coming from on that? But still, the scapegoating of American black man seems to be the menu and the policy to produce hatred even more. Even though you got people who know they are from different cultures who try to act like a black male and try to pick up his nuances and know they cannot be a black male. Here's the thing about it. I want you to sit there and show me what other culture has produced, right, the most achievements, and that also goes for music. Let's just use out music for a second. Show me what Asian males that outshine black males in music. Show me what other Hispanic males that outshine American blacks in music for generations. Show me what Native American males that outshine males within American black culture. Even those the males with the predominant culture, how many of them copy the soul or copy the musical nuances of American black males? Rock and roll, jazz, country, right? There is no comparison to the black male in this country. There is none. And supremacists understand that. Now, again, modern day is totally different. This is why they have to portray the hatred toward the black male. That's why you have to make him look like the criminality, make him look like the buffoon, make him like he's lazy, because you got to do that, right? I will close this show by showing this.
Used to worry about store owner who followed me around. How the robots is following me around now? Ridiculous. This is ridiculous. See him? I'm in the aisle doing my thing, and this mother robot is following me around like robots harassing me. Ridiculous. Every aisle I go down, this mother right here. You see what I'm saying? It's following me. This is crazy. Is it gonna? It's following me. Caution, hazard, detect. This is ridiculous. This is profiling.
A racial robot terrorist programmed by who? Most likely some kind of males or males of the Paname's culture, or some kind of other males that want to be like males within certain parts of Paname's culture. Program whatever algorithmically or something for this racial robot to racially profile this black male and follow him around the store. I don't think I've ever saw this anything like this before, where a robot was following an American black man and talking about like hazard has been detected. Could you imagine if this was an Asian male that was followed? There would have been you know what to pay for. If this would have been a Hispanic male, there would have been you know what to pay for. If this had been some kind of term lifestyle category personnel, there would have been you know what to pay for. If this would have been some type of Native American man and the robots following them, there would have been you know what to pay for. You know what that. But for some reason, black male is something about it's like it's truly an open season or many open seasons, and they're just finishing up on the American black male overall. Because again, this system does not want a truly strong black male, be it in a family structure or be it the American black man is a single person. They do not want the strongness. That's what they want more feminized American black males. That's what they want to try to get some kind of way to make more criminality to showcase black males. They want to sit there and get more numbers of American black women to have disdain for American black males and worried about them traveling as if you don't have numbers of American black women that do not travel overseas and islands and different places and how many of them hook up with other people themselves. But for some reason, the American black man, he goes traveling, and many American black males don't go traveling just to be dating other people of cultures. And so what? When they do it and how many do it, so what? That is their business to do whatever they want to do, right? See, the problem is that in this system, people want American black males to be miserable in this system of supremacy. They want numbers of American black women to continue to be fighting and fussing with American black males. That causes additional stress. They want the society from numbers of males within Paname's culture and numbers of women for the Paname's culture that keeps in there showing hatred toward American black males. They want numbers of Hispanic males, Hispanic women to continue to be showing some type of hatred for the American black man, black woman, especially the black male. Let me phrase that. They want numbers of Asian males, definitely in numbers of Asian women, to show more hatred toward the American black male. They want numbers of Native American personnel to keep not paying attention to American black pain, but keep talking about the white man took their land and getting reparations. You see that you see this demonic game that keeps being planned because the black male has been designated as the person to keep culturally scapegoating, and it's disgusting. So I hope that this was an interesting show. And again, I thank you for tuning in to the Real CP Show.